Hey, Lysandra Everett here, and I'm back with Viking Season 3, Episode 5, The Usurper. Well, things just got really interesting all around. Okay, so let's start out with Wessex, okay, because that just went off the chain, just kind of straight crazy. Okay, so now Judith is knocked up. I cannot believe she is pregnant. I can believe it, but I can't believe it. So, yeah, and so she's told Athelwolf that she's pregnant, and he's like, "How? We haven't been together as man and wife." And yeah, he's totally freaking out. So, yeah, he's not happy at all. Now, the Viking settlement. So it starts out with this farmer coming to King Ecbert saying, there's been some squabbles, etc., etc. And so King Ecbert is telling, Athelwolf, somebody take a large force down there and squash this foolishness, right? Well, that turns into the whole Viking settlement getting slaughtered. They killed them all. I was just amazed. My mouth was totally open when that happened, okay? So, what's going to happen when the Vikings find out all these people are killed remains to be seen. If, who knows when they'll find out because they trying to go to Paris, okay? Now, back home at the ranch, it's all getting heated. All right, so they have left England and they're coming back home. So the first thing hits is, Rollo is jumping off the ships. He's yelling for Siggy, can't find her, and that's when Auslag tells him that Siggy is in Valhalla. And he is so hurt, and it was such a heartbreaking thing because he said, you know what, I didn't treat her well. Y'all know I didn't treat her well, and he believes that her death is his fault. So he goes and gets drunk, gets rowdy. He gets into basically a bar fight. And so Bjorn jumps in and is really trying to keep him from getting his butt whipped because he's drunk. Rollo sober is all that in a bag of chips, but when you drunk, maybe not so much. So he and Bjorn get into this knockdown, drag out. Bjorn, he kind of stomps Uncle Rollo. So that made it even worse. So, your heart really just broke for Rollo. Later on in the episode, he goes to the seer. He's like, my life is useless. What is going to become of me? Ragnar, he's Siggy, he's this, he's all his failed ambitions, blah, blah, blah. Woe is me, crying my beer. And the seer says, look, if you knew what the gods had in store for you, you'd be turning cartwheels, dancing naked in the street. Okay, so needless to say, Rollo walked away as confused as anybody does when they leave the seer because he never gives a straight answer. Okay, so now Ragnar and Auslag. Whoo! Now, when Ragnar gets off, they had a brain cramp there for a second. When Ragnar gets off the ships, he's like, where are my sons? He ain't trying to see her. He want his boys, okay? Well, that's when she start breaking the news about Siggy and, telling him that Siggy, to the two boys, I don't know what their names are, walked down to lake. Siggy saved them and she drowned. And all he wants to know is, why was Siggy watching the babies and not you? So some answers there. Anyway, so Helga, you know how Floki is. Floki's like, oh, Helga, I know you're hiding something. He sounds like a little snake. I love Floki, but his voice just reminds me of a snake. Anywho, so Helga spills all the beans, telling Floki that Auslag slept with Harbard, who Floki is saying, okay, Harbard is another name for Odin. So Harbard is a god. His visit and him sleeping with Auslag should be celebrated. But he can't wait to tell Ragnar that Auslag slept with Harbard. Okay, now seriously, I'm waiting for this chick to come up pregnant because she is just like a big walking fertile egg. Every time a sperm comes near her, she gets pregnant. So if she does not get pregnant, this will be very disappointing. But anywho, so yeah, Floki can't wait to spill that to Ragnar. So Ragnar's like, whoo, okay. His mind is kind of blown right now. Like he didn't know that she slept with this dude. But anyway, and so, Ragnar's asking Auslag who's Harbard, and she's like, I'll tell you who he was to your son. Now, here's the deal, Auslag, okay? You can screw up anything, but you mess with his children, girl, you are playing with fire. Okay, I don't care how much of a mystic you are and all that. Don't be messing with Ragnar's boys. Anywho, but it was so heartbreaking for him too, because he really tried to pick up Ivar and hold him. So as soon as he picks up Ivar, the baby starts crying. So then he puts the baby back down because he's all disappointed. Well, you just have to figure that out for yourself, Ragnar, because mamas don't get to put the babies down. Now, who else? Oh, okay. So then Lagertha, somebody comes flying in on two hooves. I must speak with Earl Ingstad. Okay, so he breaks the news that Kalf has usurped her land in Hedeby, and she is ticked. So she goes to Ragnar and says, look, you need to come with me, and we need to, kick this guy's butt, take back my lands, and then we can continue on with business. And Ragnar's like, well, hold on, though. Is your earldom really all that important? And she's looking at him like, you done lost your damn mind. Now, Ragnar is kind of raggedy here, unless you know how Ragnar is. Sometimes he, got this plan hatched up, 15 steps ahead of everybody else. But this time he seems kind of raggedy because he's like, okay, yeah, I'll go and talk to this dude finally. But it's not like he was really rushing to Lagertha's aid, and which I think is trifling, because when Jarl Borg kicked him out of his land while he was gone, who came to help him get his land back? Lagertha and her crew. So Ragnar, you were trifling at this point. So, but they do get to Hedeby, and and Ragnar, what's her, Lagertha, she walks in with this bad red dress on, but she busts up in there, Kalf, and she's ready. I really need her to wield a sword, though. I needed this to be a sword fight. That is what I needed here, but I did not get that. Okay, so anyway, so she is telling him, look, you need to give me my land back now. And then here comes Ragnar. Perhaps we can discuss these matters in private. And then moves the conversation away from Lagertha. And she looking at him like, oh, no, you did not. Okay. And so then Ragnar is talking to Kalf, and, he's telling Kalf, okay, well, we're going to Paris and I want you to come with us. And Kalf was like, well, what if I refuse? And he says, Ragnar said, okay, well, then you'll lose everything. Okay, and then, but in comes Lagertha to hear all of this, and, Ragnar immediately dismisses himself, because I think he knows that Lagertha will kill him too. Okay, so this is all a trip. Okay, I'm really dying to see what's going to happen with poor little Judith, because she is pregnant with Athelstan's baby. Now, she did not exactly say it was Athelstan's baby, but I'm thinking that Athelwulf has kind of got a good idea. Now, last week I made a mistake, though, because last week I told you that Athelwulf was lurking in the shadows when he saw Athelstan and Judith kissing. No, that was Floki. I had to watch it again, so sorry about that. But yeah, he knows now, because Judith has got a bun in the oven. So, oh, and poor little Thorin, she's gonna have some drama. She's got her face all sliced up, and Bjorn, he's trying his best to be there for her, but she's pushing him away. So I don't know what's gonna happen there. Whatever. And Torsten's two baby mamas come to the ships looking for Torsten. He's in Valhalla, so they should be going off somewhere. Poor babies. And I think that's it. So yeah, so now some truth is coming out in Wessex and Kattegat and Hedeby. And okay, but now they're getting ready to go to Paris, though, so this is gonna be real interesting. All right, so that's it for me. Oh, and the other thing, Floki has freaking had it with Ragnar and Athelstan, because he's like, look at them talking. What are they talking about? That just sickens me. He is lit. So poor little Athelstan, he better watch his back, because Floki is after him. Okay, so okay, I think that's it now. It's getting heated up, y'all. It's gonna be on and popping for the next couple episodes. Okay, I will see y'all next week. Bye.